In the previous video, I've talked about 3D and a little bit of motion board. I was thinking maybe I should combine these two things and make a tutorial about it and show you guys how much you can go with 3D in motion board. So this is one of the example. I've created several 3D objects which is entirely custom, entirely adjusted to what is I'm gonna to the machines that I'm gonna use or display in motion board, and it is possible. So let's say there is we got these machines. Let's see the shapes, so something like this. Let's see which one that looks nice. I've created this entire 3D model based on, well, basically reference using reference from the actual machines, from the pictures, videos, or pretty much any other available source that I can use, and then I just design each of the parts individually and then combine them into one. That's the basic of 3D modeling, and so we can have this kind of object shape simply because I've combined several objects. So as you can see, and then let's say we have created this 3D model and then we try to export this. Alright, let's have a nice little look. This, okay. Alright, so we want to export this into our motion board. So what we need to do is we need to export this 3D file into a file called .stl, which is a format that is the one that is supported by Motionboard. If you export it into other type of file such as FBX or OBJ or any other types of file which can be viewed by other 3D application but not from Motionboard. Unfortunately, Motionboard can only support .stl, so if you're using any other version, any other format, then it cannot be read. So let's export this to STL, export STL, selection only. Alright, so we will check the result, and as you can see, by using simple 3D viewer that are available in, well, on Windows, we can see the object shape pretty clearly without having to install 3D apps or software such as Blender. This is our shape. Now we want to put this into Motionboard. Okay, we're back here. Go to edit mode, and then we need to create new 3D let's say component. So to create 3D component, instead of choosing chart or spreadsheet, we go for the other route, which is a little bit to the right. 3D map, press here, and then you go here. Then you click just like you're creating chart or spreadsheet. Then you can name your 3D map to data source, choosing what source that you're gonna use. Okay, then you press OK, and as you can see, new 3D component is created. So we go to edit data source, and you can see it's treated just like chart or spreadsheet, so there's not much of a difference. The only difference is how it's being displayed, and you cannot change from 3D into chart or spreadsheet, unlike chart, which you can change which type of chart that you're gonna use, whether it's line or column or bar. But for this one, you need to you need to make sure that you're gonna create 3D instead of any other component. And then we can go to the properties to adjust it, because as you can see, there's only one single box. That's not what we want to create. We go to properties, and then we can see that there are several menus, which also not that much. You can see we can adjust whether the display data is going to be referring to the row or column, just like in image map, referring to row or column in a chart. Okay, data point action, which means that if we left click on the 3D object, what are the next thing that's gonna happen, whether it's gonna redirect to uh, a new layer, to a new dashboard, or it's gonna pop up new let's press this. It can jump, or it can trigger an action that you can see in the action button in buttons. But that's not what we're gonna do today. We're gonna just simply insert the 3D object that we have created. So we go to 3D map editor, we go to edit, and then we have this menu editor. Now this is a simple yet quite powerful feature in Motionboard, because this is basically a 3D editor right inside Motionboard. So you don't have to create, you don't really have to use 3D software such as Blender if you want to create a simple object. So let's say, give an example, we can create new object, we can create any other shapes. By default, you can choose which object you want to create. You can go to the header, octahedron, ball, and many other objects. So yeah, say that you need 3D software to create 3D monitoring dashboard, and that's not entirely correct. You can actually use this 3D map editor and just call it a day. But on the other hand, if you want to create custom 3D, you need to first have the 3D objects, and then you need to upload instead of creating a new one, because we need to insert what we have created. Okay, we choose this object, and then as you can see, I've imported the STL file, and it will be displayed right in here. And then we can choose OK, and then the next thing that you're gonna see is the 3D object is gonna be imported. As simple as that. Now, alright, I'm gonna move the object. As you can see, if I press the object, there are three axes that's gonna appear: the X, the Y, and the Z axis. Each are color coded, so you don't have to worry about it. Then if you click on individual axis and then you move it, you drag it, and it will move to its to the axis that you've pressed. Then we can rotate, can click on the axis, you can drag, and it will rotate. Or you can just simply use the feature that's on the bottom right, which is layout. And as you can see, there are coordinates that you can adjust, the zoom, which is the size that you can adjust, or the rotation that you can adjust to. So let's say I want to adjust I want to rotate the object. You can rotate based on the Y axis. As you can see, let's say it's -90, then we'll rotate it. And then let's say I want to bring the object a little bit to the top, so we can add the Y in here, and there you go. As you can see, now we have created our custom 3D, and we have successfully inserted the 3D object into the dashboard. Now all that's left is just adjusting the data so that it will be displayed into the 3D. So let's say my machine is showing a value from 0 to 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I want to map it to the 3D object. So if the value is 1, then it will be shown as green. Yeah, you can do that, and that's what we've actually done several times on the actual case scenario. So it is entirely possible, but first you're gonna make sure that the 3D that you want to create is exported in a format that is being supported, and make sure that the object is one single object, it's not separate. Otherwise you might have a little bit of difficulty on joining them later on. You know, so make sure you export them into one, and make sure that it is in a single color, so you will know that, alright, the fact that I'm importing this single file means that it will be in a single color. I mean that it will be considered as a single object, despite maybe in actual case scenario it might not really be the case, but that's just how we simplify things in Motionboard. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully it will be helpful for you guys, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.